This video is on how to pick up your horse's feet safely. First thing I'm going to do is run my hand down his front leg to make sure he's comfortable with it. And then you can see me put my hand right where his knee is, on the inside of his knee. If I keep putting a little bit of pressure there, his knee will buckle because they're weak there, and eventually your horse will hand you his foot safely. That's the easiest way to do it, because where I'm pressing behind the knee is the weak spot, and the horse has to buckle his knee a little bit. He may only give you a little bit to begin with, a little bit of pressure by buckling, but within a good amount of time, he will hand you his foot. It's the easiest, safest way I've ever found to pick up a horse's front foot. Now we're going to move to the hind leg. Again, I'm going to rub my hand down there to make sure he's going to be comfortable with it. He's a little off balance there, so I'm going to go ahead and square him up. Then I'm going to go back, and then again, there's a weak spot down below by the fetlock, and if you just put your hand against it, he will start buckling a little bit, and eventually, after a good amount of time goes by, he's going to end up just handing you his hind leg. If you think you're going to get kicked, don't do it. In a different video, we'll go over kicking. So again, I'm just going to run my hand down there. I'm going to hold his leg up for just a few seconds, and I'm going to put it back down. After a while, you can start picking up his foot up for longer periods of the time. Now I'm going to go back to the front leg. Again, he's off balance a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and square him up. And there he squares up for me. There he goes. And he's just going to hand me his hoof. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put his front leg between my knees. And again, in the beginning, only do it for a few seconds and let the horse have his foot back. As time goes on, you can increase the time you have the horse's foot up and holding his foot up, between your knees, or however. Always make sure the horse is going to be squared up to some point, because it's very hard for them to try to give you their foot if they're not squared up, because they'll be off balance. So there he goes, and he's going to hand me his foot, and then I'm just going to stretch his hind leg out now and put it between my knees, and there he goes. And he's doing this really well. Again, only do it for a few seconds at a time. When your horse is good with this, now we go on to horseshoeing manners. What I'm doing here is I just got a hammer, and I'm lightly tapping on his front feet, just very lightly. And he did that one really good. Then I'm going to go back to his hind legs, and I'm going to go ahead and tap with the hammer just a little bit. Again, not very hard. And make sure he's good with that. Alright, now once he's good with that, and you can see I keep putting the lead rope behind me in case I need to move his hip away from me if he got excited or something, or scared. I can move his hip away from me. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and do it on the other side. You'll want to do this from both sides of the horse. Make sure he's comfortable. And now I just put the hammer down, and I put the rope around me, or around my side, just in case. Now I'm going to go ahead and tap on the shoe that he already has on, just very lightly again. Then I'm going to put his leg between my knees, and again I'm going to tap very lightly. And again, you only want to do this for a few seconds at a time. You don't want to just keep his foot up, or he's going to put his own foot down. But after a while, you can increase the time. Again, I'm going to pick his hind leg up, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stretch out his leg, and then I'm just going to go ahead and lightly tap on his hoof. And it's really this easy to do. You won't get it, done within a day, but you practice this for a few weeks with your horse, and your horse is going to end up picking up his feet very softly for you, and it will have good shoeing manners. Alright, so the next thing I do, see I got a bucket in my hand, because the bucket's going to act as the farrier stand when the farrier needs to put the horse's hoof up on the stand to rasp and to clench the nails down. And all I'm going to do is stretch his leg out. I'm going to hold his leg up on the bucket. Again, this will only be done for a few seconds at a time, and then you can increase the time as your horse gets better. And I'll go ahead and put his foot back down. And here we go to his hind leg. I'm going to set the bucket underneath him. I'm going to pick up his hind leg. I'm going to set it right there on the bucket. Good. And you want to hold it there because you don't want the bucket to tip over and scare your horse. make sure your horse is comfortable with buckets and stuff like that, which I'm sure they are, where you can put their foot up on the bucket. And that's about as easy as it gets, and do it from both sides of your horse, and I promise you'll see results within a few weeks. Thank you.